Meanie everyone, Mary here again. I don't think it's been as long. No. Um, but I'm just winging it. I'm not like, I'm not made any plans about this video or anything. It's just sort of a revisit from that one video I did about Kemeticism and racism. Um, and namely, because a few weeks ago, I actually, I mentioned in the previous video that, the only way for me to know about my actual ethnicity was to do a DNA test. Well, Ancestry.com offers a DNA test, Ancestry DNA or something like that, and I actually bought a test. Um, you have to, you order it online, and they send you a vial, practically, or pretty much, and you spit in it, and from there they can gain all the DNA that the sample of DNA that was in your spit, and from there determine what your ethnicity is. Um, so that's pretty much what I did. I did something similar before, interestingly enough. But it wasn't for ethnicity or anything. It was for the University of Washington's twin registry, because I have a twin. I have an identical twin sister. So yeah, they found out that I was a twin through my driver's license. And so I've been participating in that a little bit. I'm a big believer in science, so they asked us, my sister and I, to send in a DNA sample so they could compare our DNA, see if we were identical or not and whatnot, and that's what we did. And it was similar in terms of sending in a DNA sample, spit in a cup and mail it off. It's pretty much the same thing with the Ancestry DNA. And it's very interesting because, after a few weeks I got my test results back, which was very exciting because, like I said before in my other video, I'm not really sure about my ancestry. My mom is actually adopted. Her birth records are sealed. We don't know anything about her side of the family. I do know a bit about my dad's side, but not very much because, a lot of it's sort of kind of hearsay from my aunt who passed away. She did genealogy, and then she was telling stuff about about our family to my dad, and he was telling it to me. So, it's sort of like a game of telephone. But anyway, I sent off my DNA sample. They gave me my test results back, and this is sort of what I got. I'm pretty much 100% European. I was actually kind of surprised because there were some things that I was kind of hoping for, a little like a bit of a mishmash, because being an American, it's like, Americans are a melting pot, and even though I look white, you never know what I could have in my DNA. There could be African American or African DNA, or there could be Native American DNA. You never know who married whom. But in this respect, I was pretty surprised to find out that I'm just full European. The biggest one is Great Britain, which is 28%. I'm looking at the test results right now. Um, from Ireland, it's 27%. Scandinavia, which is, the Nordic countries like Norway and Sweden and all that, 22%. Iberian Peninsula, and I was like, wait, what is that? It's pretty much like Spain and Portugal. 12%, and Western Europe, which is like Germany, 7%. And that was a bit surprising because, my dad told me, from at least on his side of the family, it was English, Irish, and German. Well, it doesn't seem that there's a whole huge German component in my DNA, at least. Um, Obviously, my mother doesn't know, although there is speculation that she came from an Irish family. So, but I only brought this up because, it's like, with the Kemeticism and racism video, it kind of goes back to, well, why am I not worshiping the gods of my ancestors? According to this DNA test, I should be worshiping, I guess, the gods of the British Isles. And I guess another question would be, has this changed my views at all about paganism, and it hasn't made me more interested in Celtic mythology or anything like that. And I would say it hasn't changed it. Um, I've read about Celtic mythology, and I have a working knowledge of it, and if I have any questions at all, I can ask my sister, because she's a Celtic pagan, and she knows a lot about this stuff, more than I do, because she's taken classes about it in college, like Celtic history and stuff like that. So, if anything comes up like that, I can ask her. And I think it is important for people to have a working knowledge of, where they hailed from, and like the mythology from the people that are their ancestors. So, um, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I read about Celtic mythology in the first place, because I knew about the English and Irish ancestry. So I was like, well, the Neteru called me, but I think, this is a good thing to study. And after learning about my Scandinavian heritage, apparently I imagine that there's a few Vikings in my family tree. It's like, looking at my results, it's like, oh wow, it kind of is, kind of shows the crazy history that Europe has. It's like this tiny little continent, or part of a continent, not a whole lot of land space. And that's probably maybe another subject for another video, why, Europeans can be so violent. It's like, Europe is such a small continent that, you don't have a lot of resources, and you have a large amount of people on that continent. You're going to get a lot of fighting. And so you have, the English fighting the Irish, the English fighting the Scottish, English fighting Germans and French, and everybody fighting each other for resources. So I think it's sort of like a mini hypothesis of mine, why Europeans have been so into colonialism and subjugating other people, because they're just, they've been in a warlike situation for most of their history. Anyway, that's another video. Um, but yeah, I was going back to that, the Scandinavian thing. Yeah, probably there's a few Vikings in my family tree who decided to get frisky with some Irish or English ladies or something like that. Who knows? But that makes me want to read the Eddas or something like that. With Norse mythology, I wasn't initially interested in it, but I think I should at least have a working knowledge of it. And there's different things too. Like last weekend, my sister and I went to this one festival that's in Belfair, Washington. It's a Celtic festival, and so they have like Irish dancing and games and bagpipes and Celtic artwork, being sold at vendors' booths and different things like that. And so that was fun. I even actually, strangely enough, got this necklace here, or the pendant really. It's an ankh, strangely enough. It's a Celtic Highlands festival. I found an ankh at a vendor's booth. It has a piece of Baltic amber in it. So I was like, score! Because it's like, I don't know about any of this stuff. I like the Celtic tree of life, that one symbol. But that's probably just me and my love of trees and ecology and stuff like that, being everything's connected. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's the way I get in touch with my ancestors. I don't take up the religion of my ancestors, but I do appreciate their culture. So, there's lots of different ways that you can appreciate your ancestors. You don't have to take up the religion. And you're not locked into a specific religion or anything due to your ethnicity. It's who calls you, pretty much, I think. My sister and I were talking about it a little earlier, and she's like, "Well, I would totally welcome a black guy into Celtic religion." It's like, well, maybe he's a British guy or something like that, and he just loves the land. That's pretty much what Druids are about, loving the land. And if he's like a guy who loves, his country, or like a British guy who loves his country, she welcomes him with open arms. It doesn't really matter about ethnicity. It matters about what's in here. So I guess that's just a small update and just a small discussion about, you know, ethnicity and Israel and paganism, which is little to none really for me. Um, so, if you want to talk about it or you have any stories of your own, let me know. Thanks. And Sanepti. Bye. This is my nut tut. He's my kitty. He's my little boy. Say hi to the camera, tut. Hello. Hello. Yeah. I love you. I love you, tut. Who's a good boy? He's my little nut tut. I love you so much, tut. I love you. I love you. Okay, you can go now. One more kiss. Okay.